Okay, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to do this. So,
Definitely, yeah. So, like, the first question I wanted to ask you was like, how did you get involved with wanting to do shoots,
so
modeling shoots?
it's a funny story actually. Back when I was in high school, I was all about like athletics and sports, and that's really what I wanted to pursue and what I wanted to do.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I played football, I wrestled, I did all of those like intense sports. And I never really thought about doing modeling or acting or none of that. And then my mom, she's always been trying to like get me into it. Um, and then I just I just didn't think it was for me, I just didn't
Mhm.
really want to do it. I guess I was interested in a way, but I just didn't think I'd be a good fit. And then one day I get a call from a company and they were like, "Hey, we would like you to come in and audition." I was like, "Audition for what?" Um, and they told me they were like, "Oh, you're gonna go through this audition and then you're gonna do, X, Y, and Z, like the monologue and the photo shoot and
Oh, wow.
all of that, see how it goes, and then if we like you, whatever, we will give you a contract." I was like, I was just gonna hang up the phone. I was like, well, not for me, sorry. But my mom was like, "Don't you dare." So I was like, okay, all right, so I'll do it. And basically I showed up, went to the audition, and it was set up so they had like stage one, you did monologue, stage two, you did a photo shoot, stage three, you did a runway shoot and a runway walk, and so on, so on. And each stage they cut people. Um, and then I basically, long story short, I made it all the way through. And at the end of it, they were like, "Hey, we'd like you to, we'll give you this contract,
Yeah.
if you're willing to sign." I was like, "What?" Um, and then yeah, I thought about it and then I signed the contract. I took acting classes, I did modeling workshops and all of that. And then once I started to actually get work and get booked for stuff, um, I had I had a good amount of gigs from the get-go, but I was mainly doing modeling. And then I did 3 or 4 gigs. I was like, "Wow, this is actually great. This is what I would like to do." And then, um, later on, I got, involved with acting. I booked my first short film, and I did that, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." I mean, being on set is like a whole another experience that, I hadn't known before. Um and then yeah, I loved it, and that's when I made the decision. I was like, "This is what I wanna do."
Oh, damn. That's really awesome.
Mhm.
So you said you did like shorts then too, like you act besides doing modeling?
Yeah, so I've probably done about 4 or 5 short films, and then I've done feature films, I think 3 or 4 of them, by now, and then I just wrapped up a film couple months ago. Um It was my I think well, it was my last feature film, and the character that I got to play was just awesome. Like, it was an amazing experience. I loved the character that I was playing, and it was just a really fun time. Like, I was very proud of my work.
And like have you done any, because I'm like a huge horror fan, so have you ever done like any kind of horror films or horror shorts?
So I did a feature film, and it was like a horror slash
Oh, yeah.
slasher, and it takes place on Halloween. And basically, I'm not gonna give too much away here because the movie's not released yet.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, it takes place on Halloween, and there's a ghost involved, and group of kids, and I don't know. I'm not a I'm a fun character, but my guy's kind of a jerk.
Okay.
So
Well,
very
you know,
fun to play out.
in like every horror movie, you need that one person who's like the jerk or the jock, or so
Yeah.
you know you have that one person that is like the basically a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good to have a contrast because you always have like the normal guy that's just like
Oh
really
yeah.
nice to everyone and goes above and beyond. So I think it's good to have the other side where it's like, wow, who is this guy? Like, no, I don't want to be friends with him. I don't know.
and and what's been like for your shoots, like what do you think has been like your most fun shoot yet?
So I would say my last feature film that I did. It was also, I wouldn't classify it as a full-on horror, but it had horror elements in it.
Okay.
But there was a lot of drama, and the reason I loved it was because of my character. Like it was so fun to play. My character is a bit crazy. Like he's kind of, you question his mental stability, but um I think that's why I liked it so much because it was so different than playing like an average character, not an average character in a sense of like, oh, you're just like yourself the whole time, but it's just very different, and it was a really fun experience. Like I can't wait till the film actually comes out, and I think it's gonna be in October if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
wow.
So
Okay, so I mean that makes sense to put it out for like Halloween season.
I didn't even think about that, but yes, it definitely does.
And like, what about your mo- modeling gigs? Like, what kind of gig do you like most, or have the most fun with?
So I was recently on a trip in New York, and I did a bunch of shoots up there. I did a shoot with Sean Waters, who, he's amazing. Like the pictures turned out better than I ever imagined they would. And the pictures were published in an editorial, so that was really cool. But I mean, overall, the shoot was just amazing. Like even the outfits from the get go, the stuff that I got to wear in the shoot and stuff, it was just so creative, and that's what I really enjoy is creativity. And yeah, I mean, it was just a fun experience. And then I did another one. It was a recreation of a spring runway, men's looks. And I think the reason I liked it again was because it was very um, creative, and the outfit was just like really cool because it's,
Nice.
I like it when it's not something that I would wear on like an everyday
Well,
basis,
yeah,
something
exactly.
that I would personally wear out in public. I think that's really cool because it catches everyone's eye. It's like, bro, like, what are you wearing? But at the same time, it's like it has that element of like your own swag, and like it's just very cool. I just find it really awesome to be able to do that.
Nice. And like with like doing like the modeling gigs, like do you have you traveled a lot of different places? Has it brought you to like different areas?
So I've mostly done work in Florida. I just shot in New York, and I'm sure I'll be going back up there pretty soon. I have yet to go out west. I really want to go out to LA and
Yeah, definitely.
work out there just because I think it's a completely different market. And that's really one of my goals is to go to different markets and see the different styles, I guess, because the style in Florida and Miami is completely different than the style that you see in New York.
Oh,
Um,
really?
but yeah, most of my work has been in Florida, all over
Oh,
the state, but nonetheless, it's like the same market, you know. So
oh, okay. Florida's always like warm too, right?
it is very hot all the time. My friend actually posted a story today. She left a plastic cup in her car,
Okay.
um, and it was there for a couple hours, and it just completely melted.
Oh
Like
my
the
God, are
top
you
of it
serious?
completely melted. It's crazy. It is crazy.
This is my dog, by the way. He's acting bratty right now because
So
no one's
yeah.
paying attention to him. So he's trying to get his, he wants to be known.
Yeah, I'm a dog, so I don't mind at all.
And, so I'm trying to make out that poster in your background. Is that Al Pacino or Johnny
It
Cash?
is.
It's Al
It's Al
Pacino.
Pacino. It's a Scarface poster.
Nice.
Unfortunately, you know what's crazy? I got this poster because I just thought it looked cool and I really liked it, but I've never seen the movie.
Get
And
out, really?
I do want to see it. Like it's on my list of movies to watch because
Mhm.
I love movies like what's the one he Al Pacino did another one. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was like a bank heist. It was really cool. And movies like The Godfather and
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
basically the classics, you know. So definitely on my watch list, but I have yet to see it. I just like the poster.
Nice, nice. And when you're not auditioning for films and shorts and doing your gigs for modeling, like what do you like doing during your free time?
I would say spending time with my family and my friends. That's something that's really important to me. Um, you know, on the weekend, I love seeing my friends, even whether we like stay in or go out or whatever, like it's always a fun time with them. Um, besides that, I really enjoy I like watching shows. I watch a decent amount of movies too, but I feel like I mostly watch shows on like a day-to-day basis. Um, you know, I feel like this is kind of cliche, but I also like video games.
Of
I love
course.
working out, you know, so all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of video games too. I got PlayStation 5. What about you?
Oh, me too.
Oh yeah, really? You got a PlayStation 5?
I do. I do. I really
Oh,
like it
nice.
actually. I'm not huge on Xbox. Like I've tried it
Yeah, I'm
before,
not a
but
fan
I
of that
just
either.
can't get into it.
What kind of games do you got for PS5?
I don't know. Yeah, you'll be able to see it. All of these right here
That's a
are
lot of
are
games.
the different games. Yeah. Um, I feel like I mostly like RPGs. Like
Oh, yeah,
the Dark Souls series are my favorite series of games. Hands down.
that's great. I love that.
I just finished Elden Ring actually probably like 2 months ago, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Um, and then I really like medieval games
Oh
because
yeah.
I just like the setting. Um, and then I don't know, I feel like I play a little bit of everything except for, you know, like basketball and NFL and like sports games, just because they get really repetitive for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Like, do you ever play like uh Assassin's Creed and
I love Assassin's Creed.
Last of Us too?
Hmm.
I
I
love
did.
those games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. I haven't played Assassin's Creed in a while. I think the last one that I played was Origins,
Oh
but
yeah,
have I do have the one that takes place in I forgot where it takes place, the icy land. That's gonna sound really dumb, but yeah. Um I do have that one. I have yet to play it, and I'm really excited to play it.
okay.
Um but right now I'm playing what's it called? We Happy Few is the game that I'm playing. It takes place in like it's not medieval, it's like it's almost like BioShock if
Oh yeah,
you know
that I
those.
love that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Assassin's Creed games I love, and the God of War games, like those are so much fun to play. And the Last of Us, like when I first start playing that game and the opening scene where his daughter dies, and I was like so emotional in that game. I was like crying when I'm like, no, is there any way to stop this from happening?
Yeah, yeah, I don't blame you. Last of Us is a classic. I mean, that's a really good game. And God of War, I played every God of War in the series except
Oh
for
yeah.
the last one that just came out.
All right, okay. Yeah, I haven't played that yet either.
Okay. Yeah, I played the first one that came out. I think it came out on PS4 first. Um, but I think what I really like about it are the boss fights because the cinematics and the gameplay is just so cool.
Are there any games that are coming out you want to get, like you want to play?
Um, Honestly, I don't have anything on my radar right now just because I'm trying to finish all the games that I have currently. But honestly, the I keep up with one brand or one company from software because anything that they release, like I automatically look at because I honestly like Dark Souls is I just can't pass it up, it's too good. Um so yeah, when they announced Elden Ring, I was like, wow, why it was on my radar for a while, but yeah.
Nice, nice. And what about like songs? Like what kind of music do you like listening to? Like what's on your playlist?
So I feel like I have a very diverse music taste. I literally listen to every genre except for country, jazz, and I guess classical. Um, but it really depends on what I'm in the mood for. But I most of the time listen to throwbacks from like the early 2000s and 2010s.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
or I listen to, if I'm at the gym, I'll listen to like rap or
Okay.
rock if I'm in the mood for it. But although I don't have too many rock songs on my playlist, but it's growing. It's growing by the day.
And if you were at it, if you were doing karaoke, what do you think would be your song?
Hmm. I feel like I could do the "Staying Alive" song very well. I don't know
Oh
if that's the
yeah,
name of
really?
it, but "Staying Alive." I feel like I could do that.
Okay, okay.
I couldn't actually do it, but I would love to try.
You should definitely try that. Like it's such a fun song to try to sing. Because I mean, mostly everybody knows this. So even if you aren't doing good, like the people around you would start singing it.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't have the vocals for it. I'm not gonna lie. Singing is not my strong suit.
is is there any like artist or band you would love to see live?
Hmm. Um, I was thinking about that recently, actually, and I, for some reason, really want to see 50 Cent live,
Oh
just
yeah,
because
definitely.
he's just timeless. I've always liked him. I went to Rolling Loud actually back in 2021, and it was really cool. I got to see a lot of artists. Um, and it was down in Miami, so I went with my friends, and it was a really good time. It was really fun. I
You
loved
know,
seeing I loved seeing ASAP Rocky because
oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
definitely my like in the top three of my favorite artists.
I've been wanting to go to that music festival rolling loud. Like I always I hear so many like fun things about that coming out and all that. Like I would love to try it once, like that and Coachella. Like those are like
Oh yeah.
two music festivals I definitely would love to try out.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been to one of them. I haven't been to Coachella yet, but yeah, I think that's on my bucket list for
Oh
sure.
my God, yes, definitely. And like I was telling you, I'm a big horror guy, and I always like asking my guests this: like, are there any horror films that you like to watch?
Hmm. That's a great question. What is the last horror movie? To be honest, I don't watch a lot of horror personally.
Okay.
Just because I mostly watch comedies.
Oh, nice.
I really like comedies. Now, it's weird because when I'm acting, I love acting in drama, horror, slasher, stuff like that, and not comedies. But when I'm watching something, I like watching comedies. Um, but man, that's a tough. I'm watching a show that's kind of like a horror show.
Oh,
I'm
sweet.
watching The Originals right now.
Oh, yeah, I love
It's
that
like the
show.
spin-off off of the Vampire Diaries, which
Yes.
I've seen 10 out of 10 show.
Oh my God, both of them are so good. I love both of those shows, both of those series.
Hmm. Yeah, I really like it. I think I'm on season 3 of The
Oh,
Originals right
sweet.
now, and Michelson brothers are just badass.
I know, right? Exactly. Are, and is there a hidden talent that fans might not know about you?
I can solve a Rubik's cube in under 2 minutes.
Oh my God, really?
Mm. Yeah,
That is very impressive.
I learned I learned like 4 years ago, I think.
Okay.
And it's like a set of combinations pretty much. And once you learn the combinations and the process, then it just gets easier and easier. Um, and my brother and we used to compete to see who could get the fastest time. I think the fastest time I ever got was like 42 seconds, 43 seconds.
Oh my
Um,
God, really?
but you also like, I don't know what the the real pros do when they solve the cubes in like,
Yeah.
5 seconds or something because I can't even comprehend that personally. But yeah, when I got the 42, 43 seconds, a lot of it was luck because if stuff falls into place the right way, you can jump over a few steps.
Okay.
But yeah, I would
Wow,
say I can definitely get under the 2 minute mark for sure.
that is very impressive. That amazing thing. All right. And you mentioned like you used to play sports and stuff. Are there any sports you like to watch?
I really enjoy watching UFC, um, just because I think it's entertaining. I used to watch wrestling like professional wrestling though,
Oh
not
yeah,
amateur wrestling.
that's what I love.
I watched it religiously for years and years and years, but then ever since I just got like super busy and have less time now that I can't watch, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, unfortunately. um, I catch myself watching less of it. And also the fact that a lot of superstars um that I really liked in WWE.
Yeah,
Most of them have already left, and the storylines kind of. I don't know. I feel like it's just gone downhill for me.
yeah, it definitely has.
Um,
Like it's not what it was like during the height of like the Attitude Era with like the
oh
Undertaker
yeah.
and The Rock and Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels and
Hmm. Yeah,
so
absolutely. The Undertaker is actually my favorite wrestler.
oh my God, same. I was just gonna ask you that, like, who's your favorite WWE star of all time?
Yeah, I would say easily the Undertaker. He's number one. Shawn Michaels is. I would put him at two. Like I feel like he's a strong
Okay.
two. Um, Yeah, I love DX. John Cena, I mean,
Yeah.
he's one of the pillars of WWE.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Um, Randy Orton, currently out of the the current roster, I would say Randy Orton's probably my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, he's still kicking it yet.
Even though they're telling him not to,
I
from
know,
what I
right?
read, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely upper in my top. Tate Taker is definitely up there in my top, and I also love. Do you remember Jericho?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like he's on like my top too. Like I was always a huge Chris Jericho fan. Like I mean, the guy wrestles and he's an author and he has his own rock band and like
Right.
he does a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. I don't know, is he still in AEW?
He is, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. I haven't sat through an AEW show yet, but
Okay,
from what I've seen, the footage is just crazy. Like they just do crazy stuff.
I know.
It reminds me, I don't know if you watched TNA, but it kind of
Oh, yeah,
reminds me of TNA from like the 2010 or
definitely.
2008 through like 2012 era.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like their stuff is definitely out there, and they don't care what kind of matches they got. They got hardcore, they got high flying, mat wrestling, like any kind of wrestling you think of is over there. And you got guys like Jericho, and now Sting is over there, and
Right. Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, definitely. And I see you stay in amazing shape. Like I see your your photos for modeling, and you definitely look great, and you're all toned. And so, what's your like work workout routine like?
So my workout routine has changed a lot recently because of all of the injuries and stuff that I've, acquired over the number of years that I've been working out. Because I first started lifting when I was about 16.
Okay,
Um, and then that's when I started lifting consistently because I did some weight training and some exercises before that, but I don't count it just because it was like here and there and it was all over the place. Um, but when I first started and I really got in shape and really got strong and good at weightlifting, I would do a lot of compound movements. So I would do a lot of bench, deadlift, squat. Um, and then, the week in and week out of having 400 pounds on my back took a toll on my body.
I'm sure.
Especially since I was really young. I was, 18, 19. I had no business lifting that amount. But I did just because that's what I really enjoyed doing. Um, and I would personally rather do heavyweight for like, 3, 4 reps versus doing lighter weight for like 20, 25 reps. So that's what I used to do, but now I can't really do as many compound workouts. Like I can't deadlift. Um, I can squat, but only like 3 sets tops. And it has to be very lightweight just because if I put any more pressure on my spine, it hurts for a week
Oh my
minimum.
God,
Uh,
really?
and then yeah, my back's kind of worn out. My joints are like worn out. So I mostly do like I do a lot of accessories now.
Hmm.
I do lighter weight, more reps, but
Okay.
I'm not in the past, I feel like I tried to be like a bodybuilder and I tried to just get as big as humanly possible. And that was one of my goals when I started out. But now I just have no desire to like pursue bodybuilding or be just, way bigger than a person should be. Um so I'm more so looking to maintain, and I think my when it comes to my current goal in weightlifting and what I try to get out of it is I really try to stay lean. Um, and a lot of staying lean doesn't happen in the gym. It happens with what you eat and how you
Well,
eat.
yeah, exactly.
Um, so yeah, I don't do anything crazy anymore just because I can't. If I had the option, I would probably do it again. But
So, what kind of foods do you eat to stay lean and trim?
my diet's very boring. When I'm cutting, I literally have the same exact meals for weeks at a
Okay.
time. So every single morning I'll have eggs. Um, and then lunch will be mostly chicken, and I buy those like spinach packages that come in bulks. So
Yeah.
every single, lunch I'll have like rotisserie chicken and spinach. And then dinner is usually some sort of fish and vegetables. So I don't know, like I like salmon a lot.
Oh yeah.
I like that with broccoli, um, Brussels sprouts. Even though I'm not big on Brussels sprouts, but
So, what
and then,
about your like cheat food? Like, what's your cheat food?
hmm, um, I love pizza. Like I
Oh my
I could
God,
eat
same.
I could eat pizza every day probably.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I really like that. In terms of sweets, like I'm not big on candy. Like I never have the desire to eat, especially hard candy. I just don't like it. Um, but like Rice Krispie treats, I feel like those are good.
Okay.
If I'm having a cheat meal, I try to get the most out of it. So I'll get everything. I'll get a pizza, I'll get a burger, I'll get fries. Um, I went to I went to Five Guys the one of the times actually after I got done with a
Yeah.
hard cut, and I got like two or three burgers, and their large fry is just a huge
I
bag
know.
full of fries.
I
And
know.
it is over the top. And I don't think I finished, but I do remember I had a stomach ache for like 4 hours after minimum.
I remember the first time I went there to Five Guys and the burger was so greasy. Like I was like, oh my God, I can't do this a lot.
Yeah, it's good though.
It is. It's
I really
really
love
good.
their burgers, and then I think their fries are really good
Yeah.
because they're not fully like dry. Because sometimes McDonald's fries they tend to be very dry and like not
I agree.
brittle, but like just the texture of it's kind of weird.
Well, I think with Five Guys, I think all their French fries are like fresh. I think they actually cut them from like, like they cut them there and the fries are fresh when they make them.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think
I'm
they
pretty
they
sure
have
that's
like
what
a
it
yeah, I think they have like a sign or something that says
is.
that.
Yeah, yeah. And, is there like a place you would love to go to see, like a place you would love to travel to?
Hmm. I really want to go to Spain. I
Okay.
really want to go to specifically, I want to go to Barcelona and I want to go to Ibiza. Um, just because the nightlife is amazing or it looks
Oh, really?
amazing. Um, and it just seems really fun. Like it's a great environment from what I've seen and from what I've been told. Um, so yeah, I would say Spain's probably number one on my list. Um,
Nice.
also, I feel like for the scenery and for the experience, I would go to Italy,
Oh,
or Greece because it looks really cool over there.
yeah. I would love to go to those places too. Never been to any of them yet, but definitely would love to go there. I mean, I'm Italian, so of course I would love to go to Italy and see it,
Right.
but
Right.
and like, what do you like more, going to the beach or going camp? camping.
I really don't enjoy going camping. Like I probably would not go camping ever again
Okay.
because I did go camping a couple of years ago and it just I don't know, I feel like it's a huge hassle and at the
Yeah.
same time you just inconvenience yourself because you gotta find ways to survive when you have all the survival necessities like at your house. So I personally would rather go to the beach.
Of course. And coffee or tea, what do you prefer?
I really like both. And
Okay.
I used to only drink tea, but now I switched over and I only drink coffee. Because
Nice.
I used to hate coffee and then I got into college and then going through college and especially when I got out of college and got a job, I was like, all right, like I need coffee. And then it just grew on me because I wasn't a big coffee guy, but it really grew on me.
Now, are you like a black coffee or cream and sugar?
I can't drink black coffee. Like I absolutely will not drink it. Yeah, I would say cream and sugar for sure.
Okay. Yeah, same. I have to have it a little sweet.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't do too much sugar in there either, just because if it's like too sweet, then it tastes just as bad to me than like black coffee. Um, but yeah, I feel like there just has to be the right amount.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, what's your fashion sense like? Like, how do you like dressing?
Um, so I change it up a lot. Like I have outfits that are just streetwear. I have outfits that are preppy, then casual. So I feel like I have all sorts of stuff in my closet, but I feel like lately I've been wearing a lot more streetwear. So I wear a lot of baggy stuff, like baggy pants, baggy shirts, stuff like that. I really became a fan of wearing like the wife beaters and putting
Yeah,
something over it.
yeah,
Um, that's my new favorite and has been for I think almost a year now. But yeah, it changes. It definitely changes.
I I love your gold chains too. They're awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this was a gift actually. It's a golden cross.
Oh wow, that's really
My brother
nice.
got this from me and he brought it back from Georgia. Not like upstate, but like the country, Georgia.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think these I bought off of Etsy, probably. That sounds about right.
you you definitely have the Italian vibe going with the gold chains and the wife beater.
I get I get told that a lot. I get Greek or Italian most of the time.
Like if I would have to guess, like meeting you and not knowing what your nationality was, I would have said Italian, like the way you dress and even like your like looks too. Like I would have guessed that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very, very pale and have very dark features. So I do try to tan, but I'm not very, very successful because I don't do it.
And where could fans follow you at? Like, what are your socials and stuff?
So my Instagram, I try to post more frequently on there. It's Nikau official. Um, I also have a public Snapchat set up, so I know a lot of people follow me on there. And I feel like I'm very active. I feel like Snapchat is more like a glimpse of my personal life and stuff that I wouldn't post on Instagram per se. Because it's just like day-to-day stuff, what I'm thinking about or like um my workouts, stuff like that. Um I also just made a new TikTok account, probably
Nice.
I think it was last week. Um, and I just started posting on there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I use. I don't have a Twitter, like I don't, I don't post on there. I don't have an account. So I'd say those are my big three.
And is it the same name for like all of them? Like the same name you use for your Instagram page?
So no, Snapchat is in my bio. It is this it's a very corny name. It is Nika is the best with a DA.
There you
Um,
go.
and I have that name because I'm gonna use the same excuse that everyone else uses. And that's because I made it a very long time ago. Um, so yeah, I that's my Snapchat name. But my TikTok is Nika Morrison, Nika Morrison.
Sweet. And the last question I'm going to ask you is, what do you love most about being in front of the lens, like when you're doing like fashion shoots, modeling shoots? Like, what do you love most about about being a model?
I think it's for me, it's the ability to bring the picture to life as best as I can. Um, and that's what I think about when I'm shooting. I want the picture. Of course, I want the picture to look good and I want
Uh,
to look good on the camera, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of it is art.
yeah,
And it's how it's how you pose and like what you're doing in the picture and the colors and the clothing. So a lot of stuff plays into it, but for me, I think I would just say the ability to even be able to do that. I think I can't say how thankful I am to have that opportunity and to be able to, you know, do that and be able to like follow my dream.
oh
So I
yeah,
think I think that's probably the most important thing to me. But I know, on both ends, there's a lot of work that goes into it because you have photographers planning out like everything, what you're gonna wear, and in a lot of cases, not all the time, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of work that goes into it.
oh yeah, for sure. Do you have any gigs that are coming up? Like,
Um, so I'm currently trying to set up this photo shoot, and it's gonna be it's funny because we just talked about the whole Italian look and stuff.
yeah,
And the photographer that reached out to me, he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to do like a fashion shoot for an editorial, and I think you would be a really good fit because you have like the Italian mafia vibe." I was like, "All right." So yeah, on a lot of shoots that I do, they like slick my hair back,
uh,
and I think in one of the shoots that I did recently, like I was wearing a trench coat and sunglasses and had my hair slicked back in the chains. So it like screams Italian in a
oh
sense.
yeah, definitely,
Um,
especially if your hair is slicked back.
yeah, yeah. So that's what's on my radar right now. And then um I'm trying to get more acting gigs as well. And I do have
Okay.
something that just came up. Um, and I think I will be submitting an audition tape for that as well. So kind of playing it by ear right now, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, when that horror film comes out, of course, when the strike is over, like when that horror film comes out, I would love for you to come back on and talk about the film.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah, I think
Sweet.
it's gonna be a really, really cool film. And yeah, I mean, I would love to show the character that I got to play to everyone
Oh yeah.
because it's awesome. It's different. It's different for sure, but yeah, in a good way.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting. Like, it was really nice chatting with you, meeting you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this was really fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like like I said, I definitely would love for you to come back when that horror movie's ready.
Sure. Yeah.
All
Sounds like
right,
a plan.
sweet. And this little guy wants to say goodbye, and
Yeah.
again, man, thank you so much for doing this. I really enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.